I believe with this cutting edge technology, the nanotechnology, where far less 4 ounces per gallon and 80 acres on 2.5 gallon is huge, because we talk about the mapping and the GPS and all that good technology keeping our equipment, as efficient as possible. We stewards to our Mother Earth need to be on that cutting edge, most importantly, because we are stewards of this soil. And this is a great technology that is bursting forth here in North Dakota, in Minnesota, in South Dakota, in the Midwest, that we have the opportunity to have wide open to our farmers, that says we have a different way of bringing this technology to you in a smaller package, and to protect then to our environment, but to protect the water.
I believe it'll work because farmers love a sense of independence. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the ag industry. Mm-hmm. There's a sense of great optimism in farmers, and we share that because that's part of our background. It's the attitude of, well, there's always next year type of thing. But in that, the always next year attitude can be, we had some successes this year, and I know that, for example, herbicide applications are expensive to be made, and we've learned a lot through Aqua-Yield how herbicide applications can be reduced in great ways. There's a great savings in that, but that's through some studies, through some independent thinking, and farmers are always open to that type of process of learning about new things. We have a good friend of ours who's partnered with us in this industry who talks about equipment, for example. Old tractors used to be a part of the 50s and whatever in the 60s, and yet tractors today are very popular, but it's a whole different set of technology that's going on too. But the same concept was there, and the concept of Aqua-Yield and the products that are going on there, the fertility program, the soil health issues are still there, but here's a new way to do it.
I think
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. And you want to add anything?
No, absolutely.
Absolutely.
April 1 of 2018 was when we were able to introduce the products to farmers. But we didn't sit back. We knew that this, yes, of course we make a living in doing what we do, but the passion for the farmers because of our partnering with these folks, bringing products out to do a lot of test trials this year, a lot of recorded information. We've got professionals on both sides of the agronomy world that are helping us, including Aqua-Yield, but we've got independent folks that work with Aqua-Yield in with us, so that when we go out to visit and sit down with a farmer to answer a question that we maybe couldn't even come up with a question as good as what they can come up with, the answers are there, and if they're not, the research is being done to complete that. But to answer the part of what you just said, we've got a lot of different test trials going on. The results of yields right now, we're still early into the harvesting side of things, but we look at the plant health, and we've watched the soil health change. We use different organizations, both in the soil and plant monitoring industry out of Nebraska, North Dakota here, where we're doing and sending in all of our samples, for example. We're seeing great changes in the actual health of that plant. Some of the salts that are changing in the plants, some of the levels of nutrients that are being uptaken within that plant and being stored and being made available for that plant to make it through the full growing season. So there's all kinds of answers to that, but it's exciting because those are the things that we can directly show the farmers as they sit back and, of course, waiting for the results of different yields as well. We're not out to push ourselves into so much more of the research outside of the famous line that we use with the farmers, that the best test ground is not on campus necessarily, it's out in your fields. Because soils can vary in different ways, and soil testing and that type of thing can vary in so many different ways for what that ground actually needs for good health. So we can use the opportunity with Aqua-Yield, because they've done a great job with us in helping comp products out there as well, to put the product in the ground for the farmers to sit and watch what they drive by every day. and they can go out and say, hey, this didn't turn yellow, it stayed green this year, so therefore I don't have this type of disease coming in my field. Or we can walk out on the ground and this ground seems different than it was, or the plants look different. Let's dig up and look at what the roots are looking like. And it's kind of ironic, but there are some farmers that we've gone out and have invited them to come with us out into the field, and the father-son comes alongside of us, and if it's a partnership like that, and says, you know, Dad, we haven't walked this field all year. And so just the inspiration of being there and being available to do that kind of help, let's hold hands, let's have a cup of coffee or a Coke and go out here and stand and look at the field and see what you see as different from, and the infamous question for us is do you see anything different here too?
Great.
And they are.
And they are.
And they are.